Hi, I'm Eddie McAndrew, COO of AIS Network.
And I'm Oren Dillon, Principal Cybersecurity Engineer for AIS Network.
Thanks for tuning in to our video series, What's Your Vector? You know, the word vector has an interesting background. Within the cybersecurity community, it refers to the vector of attack. For those of you who watched our shared security model video, welcome back. For those of you who didn't, check it out. It provides an overview of this shared security model that's provided for cloud service providers. So, Oren, it seems that cybersecurity has been a hot topic for quite some time, but it's really in the news lately, from cybersecurity breaches to the OPM attack. You can hardly look at a website or a periodical without encountering it. Does it seem that way to you?
Oh, absolutely. Cybersecurity is definitely the hot topic of business conversation, and for good reason. Cybercrime is a global industry that cost companies over $2 trillion in 2020, so it's big business. The average cost of a data breach for an individual organization in 2020 was nearly $4 million. And just the unplanned downtime from a denial of service or a ransomware attack can cost a company anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000 every minute they're down. So it's definitely worthy of some attention.
Wow, big numbers, big impacts. But don't you think that most of the bad actors are really going to be going after the big companies, the big government organizations? I mean, they're the ones with the deep pockets. They're the ones with all the personal information. If you're a small business or a small government organization, do you think you still have to worry about cybersecurity?
Well, of course, the larger company is going to make the bigger target. They're the easy payday. So, of course, they get attacked more consistently. But larger businesses also have more resources. They have the budget, they have the people, they have the technology to secure their infrastructure better. Small businesses usually don't have the budget to pay for dedicated staff or technology. So they become the low-hanging fruit, so to speak. They become the easy target. In 2019, roughly 43% of the breaches that occurred involved small business. And between downtime and the cost of recovery, small businesses lose an average of roughly $200,000 on just a ransomware incident. And that's enough to drive many small businesses out of business entirely. So as a small business owner, you definitely need to be concerned.
Wow, so 43% of the attacks in 2019 were on small businesses. And average cost of the attack, $200,000. That's significant. Clearly, small businesses need to be aware of their security posture and drive a culture of security. But Oren, is there anything today that really differentiates the cybersecurity environment from the environment in the past?
Well, absolutely. What made things more challenging in 2020 and continues to challenge us in 2021 is the whole COVID-19 pandemic. There's been an unprecedented shift to a remote, kind of a work-from-home environment. Most businesses in 2020 shifted from the office-based environment to a 100% remote work environment in a matter of a couple of months, and they had very little time to prepare for it. Now, whenever change happens in a company's technical infrastructure, there's the opportunity, of course, for security vulnerabilities to crop up. But when the change happens quickly, and it happens on a large scale, and it happens with relatively little planning, the risks just increase.
Yeah, wow. Challenges around having to make changes quick, which introduce risks and vulnerabilities. And in those situations, really, the driving a culture of security becomes even more important. A remote environment, bring your own device to work, introducing the security risks associated with that. What else, Oren?
Well, so there's two parts to that. Since you brought up the bring your own devices, that's actually a very key point, in that a lot of companies are having their employees work from their own devices, which gives the company really no control over those devices. When a company issues the device, they manage the device, they manage what's on it, they manage how it works. When it's your own laptop or desktop at home, it's like a Pandora's box. You have no idea what's connecting into your company's network. And to your other point, security awareness is a key factor. Work practices have to be more secure than they were in the past, where folks in an office are used to, walking down the hall and checking in with their coworker on a work item. Now that colleague is sitting miles away and may or may not be able to answer the phone. So there's a lot more opportunity for social engineering and phishing in the remote work environment than there is in an office environment. And unless your employees have a solid basis in security awareness, they're much more likely to fall prey to social engineering schemes like phishing emails or SMS text-based attacks.
Yeah, it really drives home the need for security awareness and driving a culture of security. After all, the largest vector of attack is the person sitting in the seat. I'm Eddie McAndrew, COO of AIS Network.
And I'm Oren Dillon, Principal Cybersecurity Engineer for AIS Network.
Please be sure and check back on the next in the series, Security Maturity, and you can find out where you are in the security spectrum.